While of me laugh and drink and say there was something, but you say there was nothing, but you say it with a smile.
Whoa. Hey everyone, welcome to the Fifth Quarter Fantasy Cast. We are three again. Welcome back to our gracious friend Peepaw, who's back from the dead. And we're also joined by Dr. Dry, who is going to a all white party after this. We won't mention who's hosting the all
He
white
did it.
party. And so it's nice to have everyone here and doing well. And so, Peeps, how are you feeling?
A little bit lighter, and they had to give me a little bit of Narcan because, in their words, I partied too hard while on them drugs. So hey, I got that going for me. Other than that, though, we're ready to rock and roll here. Get back to it.
I didn't
All
know
right.
that part.
Oh yeah, it was there. There's a lot we haven't said yet, so it was it was a time. We'll say that. But one less
Wow.
Yeah.
appendix. So this is the closest I'll be to Joe Burrow ever, and you know, we're rock and rolling.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
That's crazy that you got your penis removed. But,
You went in
but
for
we
one. They mixed you up when they took you out of the room for a different surgery.
like, oh, are you ready for your sex change? No, 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 no. Welcome back.
It's been good. We've been okay without you, but it's not great. We're not the greatest at remembering the sections of the show.
Well,
Yeah.
So
everyone's
We
got to
had
have their part.
we had two average shows.
yeah,
I heard
yeah.
there was a draft last week too.
Yes. So kind of going over that. I have the results, as we all know. Vinny and I took it upon ourselves to pay for. Does my audio sound like shit, or like is it coming back? It's coming back in my ear.
It's a little fuzzy.
Damn,
Yeah.
that sucks. All right, what about now?
A little better.
Maybe that's better. Okay. All right. So, fuck. All right, we'll get it. All right. So, anyway, everyone who watched last week knows that we entered a best ball contest with the goal being to pay for Peepaw's medical bills, and we tied for 25,853rd place, and we made $0. We lost
Ugh.
7. So, uh, so Peepaw, how much do you owe on your
Well,
medical?
the bills are still piling in. Insurance has shown a couple. The hospital's shown a couple, and we're sitting about 50 grand. So it could be worse. But you know what? I found out from it was my first hospital visit and stay and experience, and while it did feel like they were catering to me for everything I ever needed, they sure as hell charge you for everything you ever catered and got. Every time they came in and said hello, they charge you about $100 for it. I'm like, God damn, this place is
Right.
insane. But hey,
I mean,
we're
I
here to tell
mean,
a story.
what's life if your Peepaw's not in the hospital, right? So we had typical story. Everyone asked where our Peepaw is. He's in the hospital.
Like
And I
typical
think
people.
like a real peepaw, you should ask for an itemized bill and question the charges.
They did charge me for meds I refused. So this is $2.50. So we'll see if we want to take that one out.
Strike it.
It's the principle, right?
It is the
Yeah.
principle. That's what a peepaw does. It's the principle of the matter.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good job staying strong.
I feel honored though.
So fantasy wise, how has everyone held up over the past week? But then for peepaw, how have you held up over the past couple weeks?
I don't think that's relevant in this instance. This
Happy to
honestly
be alive.
this has to be one of my worst fantasy seasons I've ever had. Back to when I
Oh,
first started, probably about similar level esque. Um, I've got one league of Superflex where I drafted not extremely different, but quite a bit different from my other leagues, and that one I'm just absolutely destroying right now. So I'll take that one. The others don't need to be discussed at this point in time.
All right.
Yeah,
you got
same. I
it.
went 4-2 this week. Yeah, I went 4-2 this week. So I won again in the cheese. So we are 2-6, and maybe a game out from playoffs. So good things happening there. But and then we had that best ball contest where we got 25,000. So things are looking up.
You weren't last.
We were not last. We were somewhere like in the middle. So that's all we need. We built a pretty good lineup too. I thought it was gonna cash. I thought we were gonna go big. I
Well,
mean, it was
you wouldn't have picked it if you didn't think it would go big.
right. Yeah. So we went Jordan Love. That's what fucked us. So Jordan Love, Saquon Barkley, Jahmyr Gibbs, Drake London, Brian Thomas, and Kate Otten. And
If Jordan Love wasn't such a pansy and played through his broken leg syndrome, we wouldn't have been in the situation.
exactly. Yeah, what did he get? He got a broken dick, I think. It was like that's what I call a groin injury. It's your wiener, right? Like pretty much, or it's the tendon connected to it.
He was next in line for surgery after I got done.
Maybe you
Yeah,
could ask Jordan Love to pay your deductible. I feel like he could probably pay your deductible at least.
He could slide some change. I mean, I heard he's one of the highest paid players, but
Yeah.
what's a couple million between friends?
right. Yeah, Detroit Lions look great.
Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery look fantastic. JMO over here can't stay out of the spotlight though, so we need to fix that up a little bit. But they still look pretty good, and I want to say the Jameson Williams suspension is probably better for Laporta and a couple other guys picking up their fantasy relevance. And let's talk about tight end day on Sunday. The tight ends cashed in like none other for the first time this year too. So
Weird.
that was fantastic to see.
It's like I swear they just say it's tight end day and then they do what and then the rest of the time they just forget that they have tight ends. It's
But
weird.
the funny thing too is I feel like they were forcing it in the end zones to the tight ends more than you usually do. So it makes me believe that like in the locker room before the game, they're like, "All right, guys, I'm going to force feed you this ball. You're going to get it. I don't care. You're going to get it. I don't care if we have a guy that we can run in the end zone with. You're going to take this in." And that's what they did, and it was fantastic. If you had one of those guys and you started them, and you're not like me and had Kid on the bench, but to each their own.
Yeah, I hate it when things are force fed into my end zone. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, I just thought it was I don't know, it's weird that they can just turn it on for a week and then forget they existed. So
Mhm.
I don't know. Is tight end week this is something good to remember moving forward. Is it always week 8?
Yes,
Okay.
this
Always
was
week
week
8. Okay. So every year it's week 8. Okay.
Start your tight end.
I'll remember that. Start your tight end on week 8. That flex spot for tight ends. It has to be a popular tight end. Like it has to be, I don't know, like your George Kittles or your Kyle Pitts or someone that just needs to go off.
Is it true that George Kittle invented tight end day? Is that true?
Yeah,
I believe so.
Nice.
He
I
went
think
to
it was
tight
him
end.
and Travis Kelce.
Nice.
They were the OG manufacturers of that.
That's a neat thing to do.
Yeah. While you were gone, one of your Lions joined a certain group.
Which one?
Up at the top.
Waymo, what the hell did you do, man?
Yeah. So
What's
he
he
just,
doing in bed?
well, he's in the bed. I know it's full, but just doing the performance enhancing drugs and just like nobody's
Allegedly.
got time for that.
It
Yeah,
was alleged.
alleged.
Let's get
Yeah,
it. But it's like he's hanging off the headboard too, so
yeah.
he's
We're
trying to
starting to
stay
run out of
alive.
room. We're running
I
out of
love how
room
he
pretty
writes a
bad.
whole letter about how he didn't do drugs and then immediately accepts the suspension and doesn't appeal
Yeah,
it.
that happened while you were gone.
All right, good to know.
So our special segment for Halloween. So Halloween is 2 days from now. So in lieu of awards, we're gonna do like last year in honor of our very first live show. So this is 1 year of live YouTube live shows for FQF. So in honor of that, we're bringing back the FQF tricks and treats. We're going to go through players. We're going to tell you what candy they are and why, and have some fun with it, I think. And we'll probably end up giving out some awards during this. It'll basically be weekly awards, but maybe some stuff just kind of for the whole year as well thrown in. So I have four guys. So maybe we could just do like a rotation, like one.
1-1-1-1.
How many do y'all got?
The audio was bad on that one. I got 7.
Okay.
I have 6.
Okay. All right. So yeah.
Can y'all hear me better now? That
This is
sounded like
terrible.
shit.
Is this my audio now?
This is really is a live stream, isn't it? Troubleshooting on the end. There we go.
Better. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what's
Alright,
going
well,
on.
Peeps, you have the most, so why don't you go first?
All right. We'll start out with a bang. We'll go with Hershey's. For those of you who aren't familiar with the way Hershey's, we got the good old classic Hershey's bar, milk chocolate. Of course, we can't have any of those, with almonds or any of these other spinoff. The OG, the old reliable. Derrick Henry this season so far deserves the Hershey's bar. So far, he's RB1 on the year. I think overall the number 3 player. He's top 5 at least for stats for the all players this season. Week 1 was his lowest with 10 points, and the rest have been absolutely out of this world. Or he's been maybe dabbling a little bit with 14 points on some of them. So, old reliable guy you can trust on. He's been a stud this year. Can always fall back on him, and just like a Hershey's bar, if it's your speed, you can dress it up with a little bit of peanut butter, or put it on the s'mores and make it look great, just like King Henry takes that crown and cape and makes it his own. So for that reason, Derrick Henry is the Hershey's bar for this season so far.
Nice.
Classic fella.
I'm gonna go with keeping with the classic theme because it's kind of the same reasoning behind this old guy. But yeah, we're gonna go with Joe Twixon, aka Joe Mixon. Just a nice classic that you can depend on. This audio sounds bad, doesn't it?
Where's the other mic?
I'm gonna plug that in. I can't continue like that. Vinny, why don't you go?
I'll go. My first one is a 0 bar, and that would be for Christian McCaffrey. The 0 bar represents how many points he's given his fantasy owners this year, which is exactly 0. And he's not happy about it. If you look in the picture there, he's looking like he's upset with the 0 bar. Now, Peeps, have you ever seen a 0 bar? They're kind of a southern creation.
No, that one's new to me.
Yeah, so the 0 bar, it's been around for like 70, 80 years, but it actually originated in the South because
Check,
um,
check, check,
it's
check.
that's better. That's better.
Good,
Thank
good.
you. But yeah, so the zero bar is white chocolate on the outside, which also helps represent Christian McCaffrey as well. And the white chocolate melts at a higher temperature, and so the zero bar was popular in vending machines in the South because it wouldn't melt as easily in the vending machine as a milk chocolate candy. So yeah, so Christian McCaffrey, he has a zero bar because he's earned you 0 points this year, but we got the San Francisco bye week, and then we have week 10 where they're saying he might return. And there could be some fantasy seasons that really get turned around or just at least become respectable before the end of the year.
But what's on the inside of the zero bar?
It's like nougat and caramel. I think there might be some peanuts in there. It's basically a Snickers, but with white chocolate.
Okay.
It kind of tastes like shit though. I had one a couple weeks ago. The fuck? Sounds like shit. Hang on. I'm gonna leave and come back.
Leave and come back. There we go. Okay, peeps.
All right.
What is your second one?
We had a couple different options here for this one. Since you did that, I'll roll into the Kit Kat bar.
Okay.
Do you know what Kit Kat's slogan is?
Give me a break.
Break me a piece of that Kit Kat bar. You know who's always injured? CMC. Also, I put on that list Jonathan Taylor because y'all boys be injured all the time. And what is your mentality when drafting?
Don't draft injured people.
Don't have injured people on your team.
Yeah.
And what do those two guys always do? Be injured. So for that reason, them boys deserve the Kit Kat bar. I feel a little bit hurt by giving them that award, as the Kit Kat is one of my favorites. But
Tasty.
when you always be injured and your slogan's "Break me a piece," it's kind of it's handed to you, if we
Yeah.
should say.
Do you know the original marketing for Kit Kat bar with the "Give me a break" it's about breaking off a piece, but it was also because they wanted the Kit Kat to be associated with the coffee break because they wanted you to dip the Kit Kat in coffee, and so it was like a double meaning. It was "Give me a break it off," but also "Give me a break, take a coffee break, dip your Kit Kat in coffee." So if you've never dipped your Kit Kat into some coffee, it's really good. You should try it.
Now, I've
Oh,
never tried that. Doc, my next award was a Kit Kat, which belonged to CMC and Jonathan Taylor because they're always breaking.
I like that. Boy, I like that. Does this sound better?
I
It's a
think
little
so.
better, yeah. When you don't get as
All right.
excited, it sounds fine.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll just have to be really mild this episode. All right. So I didn't even do anything there. All right. So all right. So my first one was Joe Joe Twixon, just a nice classic. And then we have a Reese's, which is for the best in the game. Jamar and Jetta, best in the game Reese's.
you, you trying to be subdued. It's so funny.
Somebody gonna have to come help us. Great. Now we have a viewer.
Technical
Uh,
difficulties being so assessed live.
what?
Technical difficulties being assessed live.
The best.
Where's our
Great.
IT department?
I thought the producer handled the IT.
You know, you took a day off. Forgot what day it was.
Well, we were barely on here in time.
It's true. Okay, so Dr. Dry threw out the Twix for Joe Twixon, and then the Reese's because it's the best all around candy, and that was Jefferson, and who else was it?
It was Jefferson and Jamar.
Every time he talks, it makes me laugh. Okay, so I'll do. So I'll do my next one. And so for my next one, I have M&M's, which represents Montgomery and Gibbs, because they're just two best pals running the ball, scoring touchdowns, being fantasy relevant. I can't remember the last time we had just such a great duo in the backfield, who you can start both. You can they're like friendly with one another. There's no weird competition where they're like angry with each other. There's no threat that one person's gonna like overtake the other and kick them out of the backfield. They're better together. We hated it a year ago, and we've accepted it now. And so yeah, they're just classic red and yellow M and M's. I never noticed how big the lips are on the yellow M&M until I saw this photo, and I was like, "All right, yellow M&M, ease up." Oh look, nice! Isn't that
Revived.
sweet? That is so sweet.
All right. I got. Let's. This is gonna be hotly debated. The almond joy. I don't know if y'all like almond joys. They are perhaps my favorite of all, fitting as a peepaw. This award goes to someone who at the beginning of the season maybe people didn't buy in for, but they're like, oh, we're coming around to it. Okay, maybe they're halfway decent. Um, I've had originally J.K. Dobbins on this because I think we all took a bet that he wouldn't last but 2 games, and here he is 8 weeks later, still chugging. So kudos to him. And Baker Mayfield, currently the QB2, I believe, on the season. So um, what a stud. That's the guy we idolize, we want, and come around to him, and here we are. We were like, oh yeah, the guy's pretty decent. I wouldn't mind him on my team, but you know how many of these guys on this list right here that I have on my team for all my candies? None. So that just goes to show how my fantasy seasons are going this season. But just a little rant is all. Continue.
All right, I'm gonna try to keep it down, but this Rolo is Chris Olave because it's soft in the middle and it's sweet, so definitely no hardness to it. Nice, and he's a Rolo.
Yeah, so
That's it.
continuing the theme that Chris Olave is just a soft individual
Yeah.
who just can't get it done. Which this past week he was somewhat relevant. Is that right? I can't remember what
Well,
he
they
was.
should be getting Derek Carr back too, so that should fix some things.
That should help. Yeah, I mean
It should
I
work.
thought,
he's gonna be.
I thought you said they should be getting their car back soon.
Derek Carr.
Okay, so my next candy, can't remember what it is, but I think I like my next one. So my next candy is Payday, and that's for Brandon Ayuk. And well, he got paid, and it wasn't like he got paid and he was doing great, and then he got injured. He got paid, he bitched and moaned and got paid, and then he was sucky, and now he's injured and out for the year. So um, I like Brandon Ayuk, but this year I don't like Brandon Ayuk. He's really sucked this year. And so yeah, so there you go. And you could probably pull up a lot of examples of players you could list under payday. Because yeah, there's some that's a real thing. That is like honestly, maybe when you're drafting, you should have like a a sheet of who's in a contract year versus a sheet of people who just got paid, and that really does seem to make a difference in the long run.
Yeah, you forgot to mention that he also held out from training camp and still got paid,
Yeah.
and then to do all this. What a life it must be. We're gonna hit up that old candy corn.
Oh yeah.
Candy corn goes to the player that you forget still plays and still exists until football season rolls around. The award for this player is Joe Flacco because he's like the Lord Savior Grace for every team that he comes in and plays for. And Anthony Richardson sucks. So get some more Joe Flacco in there, revive the wide receiver room in that for fantasy purposes, and let me still play some of those wide receivers there because I'm scared to death to play any of them with Richardson in there. But Joe Flacco, the man is old as all get out, just like the candy corn. You forget he's still in the league every single year, but here he is rocking and rolling, ready to shine at his time of year. Joe Flacco, candy corn.
Yeah, I hope he creates some value for like someone else besides Josh Downs because like Michael Pittman, the supposed #1 receiver, is just shit right now. So yeah, I'm hoping Joe Flacco does something. But yeah,
You've
Anthony
also got
Richardson,
Josh Downs there too.
yeah. Because like Joe Flacco, he makes like Alec Pierce relevant. He makes Michael Pittman relevant. He makes Josh Downs relevant. Like it really sucks. I hate that Anthony Richardson sucks.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, do I sound better or it's still never mind. God. Sounds like I'm sitting into the microphone. This sounds awful.
Have you played with like the settings and stuff?
Much better.
Wait a minute, isn't he muted?
Audio.
We've had this issue before, but I can't remember what we did to fix it.
I swear it was the mic that resolved it, the other mic.
Yeah, but this time it's not. This time it's getting forked left and right, every which way.
Yeah. Okay. Fuck. All right. So Twix Ghoulish Green is Malik Neighbors.
So Twix, Ghoulish
He's
Green,
typing. He's typing.
Malik Neighbors. So Twix Ghoulish Green and Malik Neighbors because we're all waiting, anxiously anticipating. It's so good, but brand new for 2024. I didn't even know that was a thing. So I'm guessing the inside, the gooey caramel, is green instead of caramel colored.
Is this like changing up the ketchup from like red to a purple to the sparkle blue to when they did that whole thing? We're like rebranding it so it's cool.
Guess so. Yes. So Dr. Dry is a mute, a temporary mute. Oh man, who's gonna like tell the dad jokes and like make really good references and also do fantasy breakdowns?
Well, it'll be funnier because his will be delayed, so it'll pop in like right after the fact. Do you have one more? I can go again if you want.
Yeah, I have one more, and then you have what, two more?
I got three more.
Okay.
So
So
my
yeah, you go.
my take 5, which I didn't
Oh,
realize Reese's made take 5s until I was just doing some research, but take 5 is the candy that is extremely underrated. Everyone forgets about it. You got those 5 different ingredients kind of working together for this perfect combo. So for that player, we're giving it to Kyron Williams this season. He It's an underrated candy. He's an underrated player because he's on a team which most people aren't associating with high-powered offense or a team that's expected to do anything. He's out there he's the bell cow, taking all those reps out there. RB5 on the season so far, and they've already had their bye. So, pretty strong showing for Kyron this year. I'm just hoping and praying, just like my other players, that he doesn't get injured and have one guy that can actually do something on that Superflex league I have him in. So, he gets the Take 5 award this year for me.
Kyron's a good one. He's a great combo. They use the shit out of him.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is just will he hold up? They use him so much.
Yep.
I always just worry about his durability, but and not a lot of people believed in him this year, and so, but he's coming through, so we like it. All right. Okay.
Doc, who you got?
Doc has one.
I see him typing.
Furiously.
The Smarties. Are Smarties basically Necco wafers but smaller?
I don't even know what that is.
The Necco wafers?
No,
Oh, give me a second here.
that's a northern candy.
It's an old person candy.
So the 2023 Smarties is Tyreek Hill because it's a year old. Ugh. Looks like a giant Smartie.
Yeah, that's why I think it's like chalky.
So he's a Smarties from last year because great last year, but still could be sweet if you eat this year too.
You wouldn't know if it went bad.
And yeah, I mean, I haven't had a Necco wafer, but that thing doesn't look good.
If you go in one of them candy stores in one of those downtown areas that has all the old time candies, you'll find them there. Don't buy them though. Just look at them. You don't want to try that.
Necco is.
I feel my appendix. I don't even have one. All right.
They're not very photogenic.
No. All right. I've got 2 more. I'll Reese's.
Okay.
Jane Daniels. First off, I don't know how you don't like the guy. His personality is fantastic. He's a baller. He's proven everyone that he's the real deal so far this season. I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator is doing it or what's going on in Washington, but he's absolutely destroying it. So, Jane Daniels, fantastic. QB3 on the season so far. If you didn't catch that Hail Mary pass that he had against the Bears to end this last week, absolutely unbelievable to see that go. Unreal dude. He's got skill like none other. Can launch that ball, has accuracy, bring a fancy relevance, and just football back to Washington again after a while. Do you think that he can bring back the "you like that, you like that"? I could see him in the locker room doing that, and Kirk doing it too. I could see that, but So Reese's award for this year goes to Jaden Daniels so far.
But is he loud or is he like a quiet guy?
I haven't really heard him talk. He just looks like a chill dude. He
Well,
looks
this
always
is
smiling too. He's always cheesing.
the only time I've ever paid attention to him. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think he's like a quiet guy because
He's kind of like Doc right now. He's quiet.
well, like I've never paid attention to him until that interview after the Hail Mary, and he was so just like he was like Doc when his mic doesn't work. So, so yeah, I mean, post Hail Mary, I would just be like shitting my pants, and he's like, "Yeah, it was a good game. We did a good job. All glory
Guys
to
did their job. He caught that ball.
God." All right, Doc, do you have any more? Last one. Okay, so we're all on our last one.
This would be prime time for like some sign language, like jazz hands.
If only you'd spent more time in the evenings doing sign language.
I should have learned it when I was sitting in the hospital bed.
All right, Welch's fruit snacks.
Ooh.
Those do be showing up in your Halloween bucket sometimes. I'll be curious if he's going negative or positive with those.
I know. Well, I like the Scooby Doo ones. Those are good.
Yeah, yeah, agreed.
I started him this week against Washington too because everyone's been able to destroy that Washington defense, and
Yeah.
he didn't. So that was part of the reason why I lost this past week. And I could have started Brock Purdy instead, but
Mm.
you know, to each their own. This goes along with my season.
And he was so like pouty after the Hail Mary. Like he wasn't even like mad. He was like kind of pouty.
Like low key, they got a really good team. They're just young, and they're gonna have better draft pick because of it too. So what's not to love at the end of the day?
Yeah.
Aside from winning, obviously.
Okay, so my last one is a dum dum because of Kyle Pitts. We all know that wasn't a touchdown. We all know that ball got stripped before the goal line. I don't know how they put that up, but they did somehow. Um, NFL script, I don't know,
It's
but
tight ends day.
yeah, that's what it was. A little grace on tight ends day, but Kyle Pitts, you are done, really done, for real.
Yeah, you should know you don't showboat before you actually walk in the end zone. So shame on him. All right,
Real.
my last award. The old strawberry heart. Typically, you associate this with being a candy you'd find in your grandma's house.
Yes.
So I really just don't know how to. I really don't know how to put it anything otherwise. This is just a old person still playing or not still playing. But this award is a combo meal. We get Zeke and Jerry Jones. Zeke and Jerry Jones share this strawberry hard candy award because
Yeah.
they're not great. Once again, they belong to the Cowboys. What's to love about the Cowboys organization? Um, I heard there was when I was on vacation, there was a interview that Jerry did about Zeke where he said, "We're trying to save Zeke. We don't want to rush him out there too much. We're trying to save him." And that's why Dowd was getting all the touches, but Zeke was pissed about it. But don't worry, we're trying to save you. And we're like, save him for what? You're doing nothing. It's a whole thing. I really don't have much to say about them besides the strawberry wrap hard candy should sum it up in a nutshell. So
Yeah.
that's my bad award.
That's a good one. I like that. All right. Last award? No, you already did your last one. I think that was everyone's candy. Okay. All right. So we're all sugared up on our candy. So next are waiver. So who are those waiver people that y'all are targeting tonight for tomorrow?
Doc, got anyone who goes? You can go first.
We'll defer to the typer.
He's a keyboard warrior.
His hands look like this, so her hands can.
Would that be like a T-Rex though? kind of going like, if they could type.
Ooh, feeling
I'm on
good
the edge of
about
my
that Chris
seat.
Boswell.
The anticipation's killing me.
Big Chris Boswell guy.
He is their points for the Steelers.
Yeah, Calvin Austin's been getting more interest. He's
Yep.
slowly becoming more of a consistent person in the Steelers receiving core. And so far, Russell Wilson is kind of unlocking the receivers.
He makes them look semi-competent as a team.
Yeah.
And Najee looks like vintage Najee.
Yeah.
It's weird to see. And the crazy thing, I think they're 6-2 and they're leading the division, like by far. I don't say by far. It was the NFC. Was it the AFC East? One of them. There's a crazy one. The one. There's one league where their stats are crazy in it, but they're leading so far, so that's crazy in itself.
And Parker Washington, that's the big ad this week with Christian Kirk going down. So he's taken over that 1-2 role, between BTJ and him. But then also on the Jaguars, Evan Ingram. Probably a better ad than Parker Washington, maybe at least a more
Yep.
safer ad. But
I think the injuries are better for Evan.
And yeah, Jordan Mason getting kind of caught up with the injuries, but then you got CMC coming back, so might be the end of Jordan Mason. Kevin's guy Gorindo, he could be someone. He might be the one you have.
Yeah, he's right. They got the bye week coming up here too, so it's a weird ad. If you got space for it, do it. If not, oh well. And he's obviously gonna be the handcuff to CMC. I think they're gonna probably throw CMC out there right away and let him get some work and get some more points. He doesn't want that 0 bar that you gave him.
Yeah, I don't want him to have it either.
Not
There you
wrong.
go. Those are some good ones. I like. I like Coker for the Panthers.
No,
He looked
Deontay
good.
left.
Yeah, and he looked pretty good. Deontay's gone. Andy gets back out there. Coker seems like the future. Seems like they like him. Maybe more than Mingo or whoever is
We get.
whoever else is trying to catch the ball for that team. And Coker's out there. Like Evan Ingram might already be scooped up. Gorindo may have gotten scooped up a couple weeks ago just because. But Coker seems to be pretty out there in most leagues as a good ad.
Yeah, there was I believe they still shared the backfield this past week, but it wasn't really sharing with the opportunities. I think Tracy had 20 or so opportunities, and Singletary had 2. So I'm glad they realized the talent.
Any other ones?
Yeah, I was gonna say before Doc went radio silent, I was gonna be interested to hear his take on Keon Coleman. He's out there on waivers. Would you add him? I know you've had your fits with him in the past this season. You'd add Keon Coleman back. Part of me thinks that the addition of Amari Cooper has helped him because it's opened up the offense, leaving him open, more opportunities. So you got Josh Allen, anything can happen too. So I think that's a great time. Yeah. Enough said. Yeah, I think he's more so available in these redraft leagues than Dynasty, but he's one that is out there in a lot of leagues. Touched on it earlier. Josh Downs, Joe Flacco starting. Josh Downs has some tremendous potential on that team. Awesome talent left and right. So if he's out there, he'd be an ad for me. Cedric Tillman's obviously an ad with Jameis Winston now slinging that ball in Cleveland. So he looked really good this past week. We'll see if he can trail him in. We'll see if he can keep it rolling. I did pick up Kate Ott in one league. Can't remember where it was, but picked him up. Didn't start him obviously, or else I would have won this week. But he's highly rostered in a lot of leagues, and if he is available, then I would pick up Kate Ott, and he's on a great offense, and he's got potential too. Before the game started on Sunday, I text the group and I'm like, "Hey boys, I'm calling Jameis Winston's a QB 7 through 10 this week." This was just a shot in the dark. He finished as what did he finish this week?
Ooh, I don't know.
He finished as the QB 10,
All right, ready to
right
go.
there in that sweet spot. So I mean, he was a surprise. He was a kind of wild card no one ever expected, and here we are. So we knew he would sling the ball kind of like Baker does, and here he is.
I was grumpy in our Fantasy Junkies League because I had the balls to play both Kate Otten and Cedric Tillman and got rewarded and
Nice.
still lost my matchup. So because I was just like, man, like that's such a creative play that I should get like bonus points for playing those guys. Like, come on, but whatever. Can't win them all. It was CJ Stroud's fault. CJ Stroud's kind of S and the B here lately. Like,
Well, I'm almost happy about the Stephon Diggs news as a Tank Dell owner.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if Tank Dell can't shine right now, what was last season? I'm trying to figure out what last season was with him. Did he have the whole Keon Coleman effect last season with um, uh, Nico taking all the weight off of Tank, and then you have Tank open more? I'm not really sure, but I would like to see what Tank can do in this offense. That's really wide open for him and everyone else to.
Can I get a Dale? Yeah, brother.
There we go. He's not a little raspy these days, but things happen. Long season. He was getting excited for this week. That's all my guys I have for waivers.
Okay, so let's get into matchups. Our first matchup in Week 9 that we're going to talk about is Dolphins and Bills. So Dolphins and Bills divisional matchup. Dolphins got Tua back. We saw that offense come back to life a little bit. Hopefully, there's more life. We need a little bit of more action there for everybody to get this offense up to speed. And then the Bills seem to be rolling. We saw Dalton Kincaid get a touchdown this week. We saw Keon Coleman is continuing to kind of flex and show things. The backfield is starting to kind of work its way back to normalcy. James Cook, and then Amari Cooper, week 3 in the offense. So, what are your expectations for these two teams this week?
I'm a bit hesitant to say anything just because it is a divisional game. Those can go either way. We expect this probably to be a pretty high scoring game. It's 49.5 point over under. So expected to have a lot of points come out of this game. Buffalo is currently favored by 6 points. So it is in Buffalo, so that does give them a little bit of an edge on that. It was good to see the Dolphins get back to more normalcy last week. Mostert is coming back, stealing a little bit of those goal line touches away from Achane. But your wide receivers for the Dolphins should be starting to come back. And on paper, this has the setting for a great matchup.
Dare we say piggy bank game?
Yes.
I'm trying to think back. Yeah. The Bills' defense hasn't shut teams down. So I could see piggy bank game here. I could see piggy bank game touchdown.
Yeah.
And Coach wanted folks to know that Amari Cooper shat the bed last week. Yeah, not a lot going on there. He was too busy opening up the offense for everybody else to
And for the
find
tight
the
ends.
offense for himself.
That
Okay,
bed's
so
pretty full.
our second matchup. Oh, I see where we're going here. You're adding some of your own flavor there here. So our second matchup is the Lions versus the Fudge Packers. Oh, nice. Nice.
Guilty.
I thought that was Poops because of his like divisional hate for the Packers, but it also makes sense that was so. So the Lions look great. They're rolling. We saw, it can be frustrating with the Lions because they're just willing to get it done. However, they need to get it done, and they're not. We saw Sun God with just like the one touchdown, like 7-ish fantasy points because that was all he needed to do. Uh, but then we saw Laporta start to get going, and we saw Brock Wright get a touchdown, yay! And
Tight
then
end.
we saw like Jared Goff, he just like throws for less than 100 yards and 3 touchdowns and goes sits on the bench. So like the Lions can be frustrating. The Packers, we'll see if Jordan Love plays. We'll see if it's a Malik Willis game. But we've seen that good things can happen with both guys. Obviously, Love unlocks more. So, what do you think about this matchup?
It's in Lambeau, 48.5 point over under for this game. Detroit's favored by 3.5 in Lambeau, so it's pretty big.
Oh wait, first this is a piggy bank game. If Love plays, if Love doesn't play, Titans versus Giants outcome or Titans versus Lions outcome. Probably not that bad, but
My bet is he plays. With this being such a big game, and the NFC North is by far the most competitive division this season. This game matters a lot, so
so yeah, when you have a groin injury, undisclosed groin injury, it could be all sorts of things, including Love bumps on the ding dong. I mean,
next.
this is the doctor. If the doctor's saying this, then we have to take it as an actual diagnosis.
It's is that in the list of side effects they read off really fast at the end of the commercials?
I mean,
You barely hear it because it's going so fast.
Love the Love Doctor.
I think if I feel better about the wide receiver plays for the Packers if Jordan Love plays. Jordan Love doesn't play. I'm still throwing out Jaden Reed, but not as confident with it. Um, you're are you guys playing? Would you if you had Laporta? Would you play Laporta with as wishy
Yeah,
washy as he's been this season?
I think you got to play Laporta. I think he's coming online, and they're figuring it out. Uh, I hope. I hope his involvement last week wasn't just because it was just free for all, score as many as you can. It's tight end day, do what you want. Um, I hope that this means he's coming online. But the Lions are becoming frustrating. I would say they're solidly in like frustrating territory when it comes to the receiving core. Um, they're kind of like the Packers. You don't know who's going to have the game, um, which I hate saying that about the Lions, but you can really only rely on Montgomery and Gibbs week in, week out.
I mean, you're still playing Sun God every time you can.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bench him for anything. Um, I think Laporta should be a fine play without Jameson Williams.
Yeah,
I
that's
would,
true.
I would, unless you got one of the other top tight ends, I would be throwing Laporta out there.
Okay. So matchup number 3. Oh, okay. So the Twix, the inside is green.
It is different.
Okay.
Does it
Is
taste
it
different?
mint? Is it mint flavored? Not mint flavored. Just caramel. Man,
Still
that's
a
not even
classic.
fair. He doesn't have to talk, so he can just eat on the podcast now. My mic's broke, so I'm just gonna eat.
How convenient. I'm the only episode
Um,
with candy on it.
so Bucks versus Chiefs. So we have Baby Maker versus stupid dumbass interception throwing Patrick Mahomes.
Saved by the refs.
Definitely rooting for the Bucks here. I want the Bucks to give the Chiefs their first loss really bad. The Bucks gave, they're the only team to beat the Lions this year, so they do have it in them to beat superior teams. I hate that the Bucks aren't going to be fielding like their best receiving core for this game. But yeah, I mean, I think Baker has proven he can do it no matter who's out there. He will make it work. Um, Rashad and Bucky are kind of working that out in the backfield. We still don't have any Evans. We're not going to have any Godwin. Kate Otten, do you really trust Kate Otten, especially in the red zone? Hell, anywhere. Kate Otten had like 10 catches, I think. And then on the Chiefs side, we're still waiting for Pacheco. Is that right? No Pacheco this week.
No, not yet. He hasn't even been activated from the IR yet.
Okay. So Pacheco's looming in the background, but until then, we got I'm blanking on the
And
guy who's the
you've
running
got
back.
Kelsey, D Hop, and a smorgasbord of other wide receivers. They've
I was
got.
blanking on Kareem Hunt.
He's been getting it done. In the meantime, he's been
Not
serviceable.
efficient. He's not an efficient runner, but he's going to give
No,
you a touchdown at some point in the game.
he is kind of like what I view as Nick Chubb.
Yeah,
You're banking on him to get a touchdown.
yeah.
Odds are pretty good. He probably will. I kind of view similar for Kareem.
It's all right, 'cause I'm saved by the Reds.
Yeah,
That's the
but
Chiefs' fault.
currently the Chiefs are a 9-point favorite, so that was up from 8.5. So I don't see this game getting out of hand. I don't know how the Chiefs have been able to do it. I mean, hell, they almost lost to the Raiders last week.
Yeah.
So uh, I don't see that. I think it's being a much closer game than what the bet lines are projecting it to be.
I think the Chiefs are good at controlling the game, controlling how this game's going to go. So it's like whatever game you end up playing, it's the game the Chiefs wanted to play. So it's a shootout. The Chiefs actually wanted to do a shootout. And if it's a defensive game, it's because the Chiefs wanted a defensive game. And so I could see here the Chiefs not wanting to do a shootout with Baker because he'll just keep throwing. And I could see them trying to like make this a boring, not fun fantasy game. Because I think they're going to identify that's the way to win this game is for Mahomes to throw one touchdown and Kareem Hunt to get one and Xavier Worthy to do an end around and score. And it's not going to be super fantasy fun. That's just my feeling with that. Like, I don't know. I'm thinking like they're like Belichick. They're going to take away your best thing and make it boring. So, someone beat the Chiefs, please,
Yeah,
for God's sake.
please, for all things that is good, beat the Chiefs.
Okay, so our last matchup is going to be the Rams and Seahawks. So it's another divisional one. Rams look like a completely different team. Puka and Koopa working together make this just such a better thing. Matt Stafford, he's on the trending, fantasy waiver ads this week for some leagues where he's not already taken. So completely different squad. Talked about Kyron. As long as he's getting that volume, Seahawks did not look great last week. They decided to not run the ball with Ken Walker, which is their bread and butter. It's so weird how teams will just get away from what's been working for no reason.
And I don't know if that coincided with DK being out also.
Yeah.
Maybe it's got something to do with it. Maybe it was the game script. Tough to tell with last week. They've been looking pretty bad here as of late for the Seahawks at least, and I hope it's a decent game. We'll see. I don't know.
Were you calling Ken Walker the poor man's David Montgomery?
That was Kareem Hunt.
Oh, Kareem Hunt. Okay.
Bank on that tutty.
Yeah, gotta have that. And yeah, so Seahawks. Hopefully. So is DK going back this week? How long do we got on DK?
Let me take a quick gander.
Because that's tough. Like that offense is not going to run well if they don't have that threat. Because Lockett and JSN just don't get it in.
He's optimistic.
Okay. Projected
It's
14.
Quote, looking optimistic. He'll return for week 9.
That's nice. I like that. I like a little optimism.
But how many times have they lied to us though?
Yeah.
He'll be back. Don't you worry. They go out and they're healthy, and all of a sudden they don't play but 2 snaps.
Yeah. It's almost like the more positive they are earlier in the week, the more I'm suspicious. I'm like, what are you doing right now? So, anyways, which
That's right.
that's kind of part of strategy, like because if you stay positive about a guy all week long until you have to actually oh, that's just Dr. Dry. He's mute. He's been mute his whole life, actually. I don't even know why we started a podcast with him. He's just only been typing for the past year.
But he's very good at it.
Yeah, I mean, this podcast wouldn't be as successful as it was if he didn't type in the background. So there you go. Yeah, he's only typing for one night only, we hope. But yeah, so I think we should get out of here. Everyone have a great fantasy week. I think it would be really funny if Dr. Dry typed out the 5 things you should do before you. So there's 5 important things you should do on the way out the door. And yeah, so what are those 5 things, Doc? Live. Laugh. Oh. Love. Like. And subscribe. 5th quarter.
Space,